Hi, I'm Dr. Chad Larson. Thanks for joining me in another episode of Keep It Real. I've had a couple recent episodes where we talked about the responsibility that moms have in maintaining a healthy child. The things that they're exposed to and the things that they consume in their diet majorly have an impact on the future health of their child. Like one of the episodes were about women getting enough omega-3 fatty acids, which had an influence on their future brain development. So that's an amazing responsibility that women have to keep in mind. Another one was about the consumption of gluten and gluten-containing grains. And the higher the consumption of gluten-containing grains, the greater the degree of developing certain autoimmune conditions. So those are, major responsibilities that women have, and a lot of things to really keep in mind to help think about the future of not only their own health, but the health of their unborn child. So today, I have something for the dads to be. And this helps kind of take a little bit of pressure off the women. It's not all up to the women. That men definitely bear some responsibility too. And nobody gets a free pass here. We're all in this together, and all the choices that we make definitely influence the future health of our babies. So this was very interesting because it was all about the men. And so here's what they did: is they separated the males into two different groups. They gave one group an unhealthy diet, basically, and they gave another set of dads to be, and this is prior to conception, obviously, because they haven't mated yet to create an offspring. So this is prior to conception. Two different groups. One group had a really unhealthy diet. Another group had, let's just call it a normal diet. And then here is the major variable that they changed, is that one group within the unhealthy diet, they kind of split that into two groups. One exercised, the other one did not exercise. And in the normal diet, one exercised and the other one did not exercise. And then they tracked the health of the offspring. And so here's what they determined, is that of the offspring who had dads that exercised, had a significant improvement in their glucose metabolism. That's blood sugar metabolism. We've talked lots and lots about the importance of healthy blood sugar metabolism. They also had lower fat mass, and they had better, healthier body weight of the offspring. So this is amazing, because basically just some choices, some lifestyle, of fairly minor lifestyle change that the fathers had, a little bit of moderate exercise, changed the genetic expression of the sperm to code for a change in the offspring that led to improvement and, let's say, decreased risk factor for diabetes, obesity, heart disease, because it affected their glucose metabolism, their fat accumulation, and their body weight by the father just exercising before conception. That is major. That is major. And so here's what was interesting, though, that that was interesting, but also even within the unhealthy diet group, remember, in the unhealthy diet group, there was sedentary dads and there was dads that had moderate exercise. So even if they ate unhealthy, the exercise helped to kind of unwind the negative effects of having a bad diet. So even in those offspring who had dads that exercise, even if they had a bad diet, they still had the same improvements of their glucose metabolism and their body weight and decreased amount of fat accumulation. So that's really interesting. So if you couldn't tell, this is a mouse model. This is an animal model. This is difficult to do in humans, to track multi-generations like that and to collect this kind of data. Exercise data and diet data is really, really difficult to do in humans in a sophisticated, specific way. So this is a mouse model, but so you go, all right, well, okay, well, that's great for mice, but how about humans? We already know this to some degree in humans, because we know that obese males have lower sperm count, they have lower testosterone, they have the sperm that they do have has lower motility, in other words, doesn't move as well, and they have lower incidence of healthy life births. So we already know that there's some connection, but this study really helped to kind of fill in the gaps and help us understand that exercise, just a little bit of exercise, they only had these animals exercise for 3 weeks prior to conception. And so everything is kind of shorter and briefer in their lifespan. So let's say for adult males, just exercising maybe 4 to 6 weeks moderately prior to conception can have major future implications and health effects on their offspring, including improvements of glucose metabolism and which is blood sugar metabolism, and fatty, overall body fat accumulation, and healthy weight. So those are the major criteria that were affected just by this very, very minor lifestyle change. So this is one for the dads. Like I said at the beginning, we're all in this together. It's not just the women's responsibility to help develop a young child, and not only to help them while they're in the womb, but even before. And so this is a key responsibility that males have, is as opposed to women are born with all the eggs that they're ever going to have. Men are producing sperm constantly, and so their health has a very direct influence on the health of their sperm currently and in the very near future. So by just having this very moderate change to their lifestyle, just increasing moderate exercise for a few weeks, maybe a couple months before conception, could change the future health of your offspring. So who wouldn't do that, right? So this was a very, very interesting study that was published in a journal called, to a medical journal called Diabetes. And this work was out of the Ohio State University College of Medicine. So it's a very well done study. It was just published recently. And so I thought I'd share that with you. And just as a reminder that, the health of our child is dependent upon the decisions that we make even prior to conception. So, hope that's useful information. I'll keep reading the studies and bringing you the information. Until then, keep it real.